Did you hear about David Chang trying to trademark chili crisp?
Oh yeah.
No. I hate that.
I
hate everything about that.
Yeah. And he's being like very litigious with people who are using the word chili crisp.
Yeah.
And also there was something else too that he was trying to trademark that like people were using way before he actually created it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's something.
I haven't heard of chili crisp or use that in like where's this come what happened?
So
give me more.
Chili crisp is like it's like a really popular like Asian condiment that's been like around for years and years and years. And so Dave Chang's company Momofuku created their own chili crisp that's become really popular over the last few years. And now he's trying to trademark the word chili crisp, which is just like a general term for it's like trying to like trademark ketchup.
Yeah, so,
but like it's a very specific cultural thing, and so a bunch of people are pissed at him. I'm pissed at him.
What are the rules around that? Like, is that something that's possible that could happen for him, or is that something that's like not even possible because it I don't know what the rules are.
When you do
that.
trademarks, you can't trademark common use words. So like no one could come in and trademark blue. Like you just can't because it's just so common. And so like something like chili crisp, you could say that it is a made up word because it's not necessarily a word in the dictionary. Now the argument someone defending, not allowing a trademark to happen would be say, well, it's been used so colloquially and across so many different kind of ways, it should be common use, or they weren't the first one to sell something that was chili crisp, because that's another thing that allows you to have a trademark license is if you actually generate sales, and that's first. If I made chili crisp 3,000 years ago and I was making that, selling it, just because someone now is like selling that and has better sales, that doesn't invalidate my rights because I sold it first. Gotcha. Now I would have to then like sue and like claim it myself. So there is kind of that protection from a trademark perspective. But I think that's the question is it common enough, or can he do it? That's that'll be the legal debate.
And where the real issue comes in, it's like fuck capitalism, but like his company makes millions and millions of dollars a year, so it's very easy for him to go and sue all these like smaller companies and take advantage of that fact, these companies who can't defend themselves.
And these companies who are like Asian owned.
Yes.
And, very small startup type companies that, there's like so many. And it's such a nice thing whenever I see like a Asian women owned business, like try to, have like a line of products. And like, that's exactly who he's targeting. Like he's not targeting big fishes. He's targeting the little guy, and people who are just trying to like share their culture too, and like celebrate their culture, which makes it even more of a bummer.
Yeah, it's not like Heinz came out with the chili crisp and he's suing them. Like
exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting to see. So he did get issued a trademark?
No, he's applying for it.
Okay.
He's applying for it, yeah.
Because that would be the argument, because like you can't trademark Parmesan cheese or brie, or like you can't trademark milk or yogurt. Yeah. So you can't. I think that would be the interesting piece of, can you say that it's just used or common, or you can't trademark salsa.
Yeah, I mean, I have two different brands of chili crisp at home, and neither of them are Momofuku.
Nice. You heard it here first.
Play this clip in court.
Take down big Momofuku.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it speaks to the unfortunate like tendency of like, sometimes people of color get a lot of success and then they like do shit to like not allow other folks to like climb that ladder as well, or like just have their own bit of success or whatever. Like there's a joke that me and my friends have about like people who live in Downey, like, because like we always joke around about how like, oh my god, like a brown person starts to make $60,000 a year and all of a sudden they're Republican, like, and like the folks who live in like Downey is like, and it's not like it's an overgeneralization, it's like a bullshit joke, but like there are a lot of like Latinos, like Latina folks who start to make the most minimal amount of, or like start to have the most minimal amount of success. And all of a sudden it's like they're preoccupied with making sure that like nobody below them takes anything from them.
Yeah. We got that. The Filipinos got that.
Yeah.
And then they also do the thing where they oppress other Filipinos who have less than them for their own gain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We have the like undocumented workers who come to like nanny for Filipino families,
mm-hmm.
and then they're like basically trapped into that role because they rely on this family to pay them under the table for their livelihood. Yeah, stuff like that to me is like so disappointing, like so disheartening, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like totally defeating the point of, you know, like trying to lift each other up. And I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying that we like have to help you know, like because we're Filipino we have to help everybody, but it's kind of like
you don't have to go out of your way to make it worse for other people.
It is really going out of your way, because it's I don't know.
Isn't that a little bit of the American exceptionalism, and you know, almost just humans tend to be inherently selfish of like, well, I want to make sure everybody's okay, but not at my expense.
Mm-hmm.
You know, same. We saw that with COVID, right? Like, okay, well, you know, I'm here to make sure I want everybody to be okay, but don't tell me that I have to wear a mask or I have to take a vaccine to do that. Like, or even, you know, oh yeah, like it'd be great. I want to use the roads, but don't raise my taxes to make sure we can fix the roads. I want to keep the money in my pocket. Did you guys see in the news recently? I think it was last week that happened where the barge ran into the bridge in Baltimore, and I think we saw like it was six folks died, but they were all like workers from different countries. Yeah, they didn't get the memo to get off. Well, they stopped the traffic on the bridge, which they got there in time to stop a lot. Like, I mean, it could have been a lot worse.
Yeah.
But I think there was like a group that was on break, and they ended, like a couple of them ended up passing away or not being able to get off the bridge in time.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of crazy that a big, huge barge ship with shipping containers can just get, you know, lose power and then essentially destroy. I mean, I think it's a pretty, like, it's like a key bridge where, you know, like connecting traffic there, and like
yeah,
like that's kind of crazy that can just happen.
Did you guys hear about like one of the guys who got pulled out? They pulled somebody out who was still alive, and he like refused medical attention, and like afterwards it's very clear like these were immigrant workers. Like, of course you're gonna refuse medical attention because you probably don't have like insurance, or you probably don't have like the resources to pay for medical bills. And
God, that's so upsetting.
Yeah.
So the other thing I thought was interesting, looking at where the bridge, the Francis Scott Key's bridge was hit by the cargo vessel. I guess I saw the mayor, I think Brandon Scott was doing an interview, and someone commented where he was the DEI mayor, as if, you know, the only reason why an elected official in a city is, you know, he has to be the DEI person, can't just be the mayor of Baltimore. Like, and it's interesting to think, you know, one, I'm probably there assuming that, well, just like, I think you're seeing this a lot now with all the attacks on diversity, equity, and inclusion, where, you know, it only happened in Baltimore because there's a black mayor, or you see stuff in the news now around, oh, well, if, you know, because there's a bunch of diversity hiring in the airlines, if a black pilot was flying my plane, I don't think it'd be safe. And I mean, even, you know, DEI programs in like Florida and stuff are now getting, you know, full on canceled. Same with Alabama. I think Texas is up now, or maybe already has. But it's almost as if like DEI has this whole like negative connotation, and I think it's similar to like woke, where it's, you know, used, we know what you're talking about. It's anything minority, black. It's almost like a replacement of the N-word at this point. But like, why has that become just such a blanket term and it has such negative connotations? Like, well, the mayor didn't crash he wants his bridge up and running. What? But why is he now all of a sudden incompetent, and that's why this happened? Or I don't know. It's a weird additional layer. Like, instead of talking about the folks that died, or the fact that this is an incredible tragedy, like disconnecting people from work and access, and the fact that a major bridge is now destroyed and will take a while to rebuild. But now we're just using that as an opportunity to dunk on the fact that the mayor of the city happens to be black.
I mean, DEI seems like it's the new
CRT.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of. Well, CRT even is recent. It's kind of like what am I thinking of? Like affirmative action. People considered affirmative action. Affirmative action came from a place of like giving people more opportunities, or opportunities to be in spaces that they were historically left out of. And that's in general what DEI is trying to remedy, like having a more, and the whole idea is that diversity, equity, inclusion is essential and can only help like a workplace or an educational system, like help it be more equitable, help it be more functional, help it be representative of the actual people who are a part of that community or a part of that area. But then there's been this reclamation of the word on the part of the right or conservative people who think it's a bad thing, who think it's something where it's taking away opportunities from other people who somehow deserve it more. And that's also what people were arguing with affirmative action, like why it was not a good thing for that to exist back in the day and still. I don't know. It's really hard because that's something that you feel like you can't explain to people who've made up their mind that that's what it is. And people are really twisting the actual point of it and the actual, what it really truly is, just to fit their own narrative about, I don't know. It's really a shame.
Well, it's weird to think that, it's essentially synonymous with incompetence now, of you're not qualified. You have no way of, the only reason why you got there is because you were a diverse background versus you even having remotely the skill sets, or after getting said credentials and qualifications because you went to school, got hired, did the job, whatever, that you actually can be good at that as well. But it's almost like a hidden way to essentially just say, well, if you don't look like me or you're non-white, I don't trust you, and there's no way you could be good at what you do. But now it's just, instead of saying, hey, there's no way a black person can be good at this, or there's no way that a Latino could be good at, flying a plane or being a doctor, we'll just say, well, it's just because it's a DEI hire and that's why they're not good. But really, it's just a veil of, I don't trust minorities doing these type of jobs.
Yep.
But but it's in your but it's almost accepted and it's in your face, or that's a woke opinion, or that's a DEI thing. Like, well, it's just crazy that it's just so in front of your face and so apparent, and there's not it's accepted, or it's okay.
It's kind of wild how comfortable people feel saying things like that.
And it just kind of speaks to the fact that they don't really understand the whole basis for it even existing in the first place. They just kind of made up their minds about it based on their own ideologies, and that's it. That's the end of the thought process there, which is unfortunate.